hello. And welcome to the midweek Wednesday stream. We are taking a look at the Pale Beyond on Multiplayer Games. This is a game that was released last week on the 24th of February, I think it was. This is from Bellular Games, who has a YouTube channel. I don't know which came first, when it was the YouTube channel or the game studio, but this is the Pale Beyond. It is a resource management survival simulation game, and we shall find out if we're going to give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, whether it's worth liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. So we'll have a quick look at the settings. We are playing at 4K Ultra. Well, I went to uncapped frame rate, thank you. And full resolution textures. Apply. So far I'm liking the interface, which is always good. Ooh, that's a little bit too low. And that was Pac-Man. He just died. All right. Accessibility options we have. We'll make the text a touch bigger. Okay, and achievements, which are all locked because it's the first time I have looked at this game. And there's quite a few there. So let's have a look at a new game. This is version 1.2.2. We're going to start a new expedition. Oh, the airs be cold. Is this not voice? Flake and white as a sailor begs their pledge. And we have to choose one. Which one stands out to me? That in the dark they'll brace themselves for horrors still ahead. Of glory found to the souls around. To the souls around. Them shielding fear, dividing up their dread. The hunger draws the desperate here. I don't like that last one. It's calling sounds to spread. What is that nonsense? No. Such lonely souls need led. What will you do when still hearts break and courage does not abscond? Or courage does abscond? I'll do what must be done indeed. Out in the pale beyond. Well, it rhymed at least. Crew wanted. Able-bodied crews wanted for the dangerous expedition. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chances of a safe return. It sounds like a good job. Glory to be had in the event of success. Right, a metronome. Why would we have a metronome in a sailor's office? We are playing no instrument. I want to turn it off because that is annoying. You're alone in the office. Tea is in your hand. This is long since cold. I'd rather drink coffee, to be perfectly honest. I'll have a nice latte. I'll get my espresso machine. We will have some latte art. I'd rather drink coffee. Looking around the room, you can make out a collection of military books. On the desk is a ship and a bottle. The metronome ticks away steadily. It's insufferable. Yes. The constant chime. It's not even a chime, it's a tick. Begins to wear at the patience. Stop its infernal ticking. Or you tend to stop the ticking. Oh, I think this read my mind. The needle breaks off. Good. We will pocket it, because we may need it later on. Perhaps we can stab a zombie in the eye with it. Because there's bound to be zombies, because zombies are very popular. It stops. We will keep waiting. We hear footsteps climbing the stairs that brought you here. Will we take a seat, or will we remain standing? I think we should take a seat. And I'm going to take a drink. Yeah. Take a seat. The chair is uncomfortably large. I'm not sure a chair can be that uncomfortably large. And the seat feels worn. It's better than feeling warm. That would be quite worrying. The door behind you swings open. The captain bounds past you to the other side of the desk. Do you have all of your teeth? Well, strangely and oddly, no, I do not. Because a dentist pulled 4 of them out when I was about 11 years old. I don't like dentists. But I do have enough to get by. Can never be too careful. The captain sits down. It's the little things you can lose people to. What? From only having a few teeth. Okay. I've not had scurvy before. If that's what you're asking. There's more things to worry about than just scurvy. How many people have died under your supervision? None. None at all. Meaning you're either perfect for the job, probably, or a liar. No, I think we'll go with perfect for the job. Or you've never been in command. The latter. Right. Command tests person's mettle. Do you think you're ready? Is anyone really ready? No, we're going to go with yes, I do. Yes, I do. I see you've already made yourself comfortable. I don't appreciate you smoking. It's bad for the lungs. I'm Captain Hunt. The pleasure is mine, Robin Shaw. We should wait for him to continue, because I don't want to know about his ship. It's just a model. I hope you weren't waiting too long. I'm told it's worth the wait. Good. There's been a lot of candidates. There has been a lot of candidates. There have been a lot of candidates, I think that should be. Tut tut tut. You proofread this. Some good, some bad. An interesting mix. I'm sure you understand the need for discretion. It all seems a bit convoluted for a sailing job. I'm not in the habit of trumpeting my words at every would-be sailor on the street. I need to know if you are right for the job first. He looks down at his list of questions. Were you born a landlubber or a sea dog? I don't know if any of this is going to make any difference whatsoever. I'm not sorry. You have different icons here. Salt on the ocean is the same as yourself. I think we're going to be mixed. If I knew, I'd tell you. I've been all over. But I'm here now. A must-watch, plenty of those joining. Myself included. Military experience? Only evading them. We're going to be criminal. Yes. Oh, yes, we are. Only evading them. Ha! Honesty is good. So you've skirted the law before then. Is this honest work? I just told you honesty is good, and this is good work. Have you ever fired a weapon? Yes. Have you ever killed a man, directly or otherwise? No. You're not married, are you? That's irrelevant. Exploration is a dangerous profession. You must understand the risk you're putting yourself in. I won't be missed. Let's leave it at that. You'd better not have a death wish. One must believe they'll return to justify leaving any family in the first place. Yours is counting on that, whatever the circumstances. Months of darkness, low wages, a slim chance of a safe return. That didn't deter you, did it? Quite the opposite. It's why I'm here. A thirst for adventure, then. He winks. I'd keep that to yourself around the other sailors. They might drown you in it. Well, let him continue. We're here to find the ship in that bottle. The Viscount. Heard of it? No. Enlighten me. He clears his throat. 5 years ago, she set sail on a research expedition towards the Dead Peninsula. They were trying to find and study the absolute magnetic south. The Viscount. A strange name for a ship. They can't all be named the Dukes and Princes. The Viscount wasn't always hereditary, he was an earned title. Once. Admirals certainly loved their metaphors, almost as much as their medals. He trails off. Anyway, the point is, she never came back. Her last known location was 200 miles south of land, presumed lost to the ice. Yeah, they're probably dead. 5 years is a bit late for a rescue operation. Alive or not, their research is supposedly of extreme importance. Alright. Yeah, my attention. The captain smiles. That's not much of a smile, though, is it? I mean, I suppose it could be hiding underneath his beard, but Here's what we do know. Not one person or thing has been heard from the Viscount since it first left port. Well, how do you know where it is then? Fatal flaw in your logic there. How do you know it was 200 miles away from when I've never heard of it after it left port? You can't have it both ways. So we're chasing ghosts then? No, they're definitely all dead. Maybe so, but we're just after the ship itself. This is going to be a... This is going to be an awful trip. I just know it. Those with more money than sense want that old ship. That's the job. If I don't pick the first mate, somebody else will. And well, my judge of character's gotten me this far. And who's financing all of this? That's a good question. The usual. Film and lecture rights have been sold, of course. We're in the process of signing off on a final benefactor for the expedition. In what year is this set? Because I was thinking, given the ships, it was more like the 1800s, and I'm not sure there was or maybe even the 1700s. Not many film and lecture rights around then. We've even donated a ship. We'll be travelling aboard the Temperance. She's a beauty. Greenwood generational. Not many like it left these days. The Viscount and the Temperance. They're sister ships. Built together. Like the Titanics, they both sank. Superstition gets people killed. So does cynicism. The captain looks at the bottle ship. So what do you think? We're going to start. It's not that much to go on. It's not that much to go on. No, it isn't. The captain checks his watch. Is he even wearing a watch? Anyway, I think I've heard enough. The captain stands up. We leave in a month. Welcome aboard, sure. So are we first mate then, or what? Proverbially speaking. So I have the job? What do you think? I'll see you on the Temperance. We'll let him leave. I'm not going to mention the metronome. The captain makes his way to the door and you follow. I want to have a look around this room. Why can't I look around the loom? Why? Why? You arrive at the docks a month today. Before you lies a ship. The letters on its side read Temperance. You walk the cobble on the boarding ramp besides a sharply dressed man overseeing the loading of cargo. He turns to you with a stern expression and you feel his eyes assessing you. He's unable to place you. May I have your name? Address me properly. I'm the first mate of the ship. Ah. So you are Officer Shaw. Then I am Mr. Templeton. I shall be operating as the Chief Science Officer. Alright, Spock. I'm also the incumbent representative of our benefactor. We're going to chuck him overboard for sure. Do, however, consider myself and my team at you and the captain's disposal. I'm fairly certain we're all disposable. Yeah, you've got no sense of humour, have you? He straightens himself. No doubt I needn't inform you of your duties. You're second only to Captain Hunt himself. I must warn you that you have quite the task ahead. The rabble I've spent the afternoon sorting are the same that you'll have to whip into shape. punctuality, schedule, a strict adherence to what is needed if this expedition is to succeed. I expect you to be the organised sort. You would not have been assigned to the role otherwise. Well, it didn't really ask me about my skills. I likely have more in common with the crew than I do yourself, Mr. Dumpton. I think we'll go with that one, yes. No offence was meant, Officer Shaw. Board when you are ready. And when you find yourself needing a scientist, we can try this again. Do we actually get to wander around now? No, we don't. We just have to choose these little icons by the looks. A young man or the temperance. Let's go and speak to the young man. A young man stands at the ramp, stilling himself the journey ahead. Instantly he begins to drag his feet up the ramp and onto the ship. Okay. Well, I guess we'd better get onto the Temperance then. What's all this stuff on the side? Temperature? It's minus 10 degrees centigrade in this place. Doesn't look frosty. Hunt's description of the ship was accurate. The cannon's pointing the wrong way. The only thing that's going to happen if you fire cannons balls out of that cannon is you're going to sink your own ship. Hunt's description of the ship was accurate. Near identical to the Viscount, barring some modern additions. Ooh, music. Week 1 on the Temperance. Birds. Lightning in the sea. It's been a month already. Why can we see a shadow? Oh, it's not a shadow. I think that's the rudder. All the ships are irrelevant. And how are you doing that? I'll do what must be done indeed, out in the pale beyond. First make sure, personal log. It's been 1 month since I signed on, and 1 week since we set sail aboard the Temperance. Hang on, it said 1 month later. I assume that was at sea. I'm not convinced by these writings in this game, and we've also missing a space between Temperance and I'm. I'm told the waters will get warmer as you pass the hemisphere before they turn colder. Well, I still want to know who's paying for all of this. I can't help but wonder who's footing the bill for all of this. Certainly not the captain. I should investigate further. As for the rest of the crew, there are now 22 of us, including the captain. Our next port will be our last before we enter the ice. To pick up the remaining 4 members of the crew, the scouting team, Hunt is also keen to work out a deal on a pack of sledding dogs. They smell terrible, because we do not have showers on board. Though I'm told it will soon be too cold on the ice to smell anything at all. Captain Hunt has mostly kept to his quarters so far. I need to know if I can trust Captain Hunt. He's not telling the whole truth. I mustn't let my guard down. The Temperance is like a ship I've never been on before. She's magnificent. A technical marvel, elegant machinery expertly weaved through one of the fastest hardwood ships of its day. Reborn for this mission, breathing again with life, she's simply magnificent. One-upon sailors approaches. Captain wants you at the helm. What for? Didn't ask. Alright, let's go to the helm then. Oh, which one's the helm? Oh. The helm's at the back of the ship. You ascend the stairs to the stern and find the old captain manning the helm of the ship. Don't we have crew for that? One of your lackeys summoned me. Oh look, there you go, that's the last. Don't you have a helmsman to do that for you? Of course I do. But it's good to keep the old skills sharp. You never know when you're going to have to get your hands dirty. Thanks for a moment for stepping aside and stretching out a wrinkled hand. Oh, I'd touch your hand, I don't know where it's been. Here, why don't you have a try? You should take advantage of the calm waters for once. I imagine you didn't see many in your past line of work. We'll take the wheel. We feel the weight of the waves in our arms. Use the left thumbstick and right to pan around. Clouds. The memory in your muscles rear themselves as you begin to move in time with the ship and the wind. Okay. Well. Not the most interesting of things to be doing with a controller. To be fair. Easy. There. You have it. Captain patch on your back. Inappropriate touching. Fantastic. Now get a sense of where we are. Get some perspective. Use it to zoom. Peaceful. Isn't it? How far can we zoom out? Well, you can't really get much of a perspective when there's nothing but cloud around you. It's foggy, I would say. Panning and zooming speeds can be adjusted in the settings menu, which I think we will do. He takes the wheel back from you. I think I'll drink the morning in a bit longer. Would you mind preparing my quarters for a day's work? There's much to do. Yes, I would mind. We've got lackeys for that. The captain's cabin. A crow's nest. And the forecastle. Oh, shall we have a look at the crow's nest? The crow's nest currently stands unoccupied. The scouting team are expected to join at the next port. I still think we should have somebody in there in case there's an iceberg or something. We all know what happens when things hit icebergs. It doesn't end well. Alright, let's go into the captain's cabin. Take requests. The desk. A tub. A painting. Leave. Let's have a look at the tub. A pristine, furnished tub secured to the floor. A luxury to be out on the ice. Indeed. Painting. A classical painting depicting sailors doing battle with a kraken, which we shall release. An ode to an old folk story known as All Captain Seamus. Or was it Hamish? Release the kraken. Take requests. You take a seat at the end of the room. The captain joins you. Now let's run through our provisions before taking requests. No, I want to take requests. To start, there are 23 souls assigned to this expedition. I thought it was 24. Ourselves included. That's 16 free to be assigned to the tasks. If they aren't already busy, the rest are deployed to their permanent stations. You are only able to deploy crew who you've discovered. They must be in good health and not otherwise deployed to another place. We'll be picking up the scouting crew at the next port. Yes, we know this. A lot of us also seem to be in good spirits, which is good. The expedition will end, tearing itself apart if you end the week with no decorum left. We've enough provisions for at least 6 months in case of emergency. That's good. If you cannot afford the minimum amount of food rations at the end of the week, crew will become malnourished. Unless cured, the malnourished status will develop into scurvy, a severe status that prevents crew from working, eventually killing them at the end of the week. And more than enough fuel to see us here and back again. Colder temperatures will increase the minimum fuel required at the end of the week. If you cannot afford the minimum fuel, your crew will become freezing. Unless cured, the freezing status will develop into frostbite, a severe status effect that prevents crew from working, eventually killing them at the end of the week. The sledding dogs, well, they're still a matter of negotiation. Dogs will be needed to be sending sled teams out to gather resources on the ice. Sending hunts out further requires an amount of dogs. They will rest and become available between the weeks. Now on to work. Corvid? Or Cord? Ooh, he's got a pretty dog. I don't like you. You've got a mask. Corvid with a COVID face mask. Or Cordell with a happy looking dog. Well, I think we're going to go with Cordell. Have you agreed upon my conditions? I don't know, what are your conditions? To the point, eh? Sure, this is Lady Cordell. Cordell is here to provide us with the kennel of hounds for the sleds. And our agreement was that she would train them up until we part ways at the nearest island, but you neglected to inform me that you were bringing my dogs through the Pale Passage. Sounds naughty. I have no intention of sending the pack to its death. You seem to have good faith in this expedition. It's one thing to ask for my whole kennel, it's another to drag them into the ice to chase a myth. Never before has a buyer been so dishonest. And never before has a seller made such strong demands. You already sold the dogs, did you not? You have no control over them now. I have a right to rescind the sale at any time. No, you don't. We have a contract of sale. If you rescind that sale, you are in breach of that contract. I am willing to honour the deal fully should my conditions be met. Well, you should have stated those conditions before you sold them. That's not how contracts work. She demands be allowed to come along on the expedition. Really? You want to come on a ship full of men who are going to get scurvy and look a bit dodgy. As a member of the crew, none of the ship has the experience of familiarity with these dogs that I possess. You're taking them to such a brutal location, they will need me to guide them, and if you have any chance of surviving. The humans on board too, of course. You can see my dilemma, surely. Bringing another member of the crew is a risk, but our hands may be tied. I don't see any harm in having an expert on sled dogs, I really don't. You can find another buyer, seller, I think you mean, don't you? Because we're the buyer, we're buying the dogs. Another issue with the writing. Seems to be quite a few of these. I'm skeptical about the QA process on the writing. If you're so adamant, no, I think we're going to go with this one. I don't see the harm in having an expert on sled dogs. A good point, sure. Yes, I thought so. The deal is already to your benefits. Do you have any on board with extensive training, the management of real dogs? No. Your sleds are useless if you can't control the dogs efficiently enough to hold. And I would like to ensure my dogs are treated properly. Well, unless they bite my ankles, I won't be kicking them, so you're fine. I think we shall go with a cordial reply to Cordy. And we shall say, welcome aboard, Cordy. Your knowledge should prove valuable. See? That is what we said. Invaluable. I'll have a room prepared for you below deck. No need to find me in the forecastle with the dogs. She's gonna sleep with the dogs. Okay. Well, it takes all sorts in this world. I don't have a problem with that. You want to sleep with your dogs? Be my guest. I hope I'm not making a mistake, sure. I think you probably are, but we'll have to live with it. We have 14 dogs. Oh, we've got to deal with Corvid and his face mask now. And are they a pair of earmuffs, or do you have some wireless headphones? They look like Beats. I don't like Beats. Yeah, they're definitely Beats headphones. Should get some AKGs, much better. We found a stowaway in the lower hold. Bring them in, we'll flog them. Another sailor enters, leading a young man by their side. You know you're not the first stowaway I've had. The captain studies him further. You know where we're heading, don't you? I do, sir. The ice. Did you know that before you climbed inside that crate? I did, sir. Ha! How old are you? You're hardly a useful pair of hands. Not true, I can pull my weight, sir. Do you know you're jibbing from your bowsprit? No. I do, I learned it all from my your dad. You can't speak though, can you? Your da? He's a wardson, followed him on board back in the city. What should we do with it, Captain? We'd throw him overboard. Sure. You're first mate. What should we do with him? What are we gonna do? Are we gonna chuck him overboard? I don't really want him on board to be. I don't know. He's another mouth to feed. He's got a dodgy eyebrow. He's not staying on board. We could throw him overboard. The boy's face goes pale at the thought. That's what I wanted to do all along. I wanted to throw him overboard. That would be faster. But no, that would just lose me another sailor. If that's your plan, we might as well cut them both loose at the next port. Then I guess the boy stays, but only if he works. The captain addresses the kid again. You're here, there? What? You here? Who proofread this? Here? Here? Really? H-E-A-R. You hear that? With your ears. Bloody hell. Sure thinks you can stay if you work. I can work, I can work. Alright boy, consider yourself part of the crew. To be sure to keep your nose clean and you follow orders. I will, thank you sir. Captain. Not sir. Aye, Captain. One eye is sufficient. The stowaway joins the two sailors below deck, now a member of the crew. Well, it seems the litter has a new run. I heard the rest won't mind sharing their rations. So we're up to 25 crew. I should have thrown them overboard. I really do think. What of the father? Simple, split their pay and their rations. Any rations this boy takes should come from his. Yes, that works, yes. Maybe we'll make a sailor win by the end of this. Well, that matter's sorted. Let's sort our ration issue out. Now it's all settled, I have one more errand for you to run. Them to meet me up deck after dinner. Hefty lads, red hair, you couldn't mistake them for another. The Stoke brothers. Do you require me for this meeting? No, this isn't the matter for the first officer. No need of concern, Salvatore. They'll be down on the middle deck. In the meantime, you should grab a copy of the crew's manifest and get acquainted with more of the crew. Okay, then that is what we shall do. The only thing we can do now is leave. So, we shall go and join the figure balancing on the mast. On close inspection, you make out the ship's photographer, Casa Belford, balanced on the ship's mast with a camera lining up a photo. We'll wait for her to finish, because the last thing we want to do is disturb a photographer going about their business, because then they won't get a very good photo. Snapping in the shot, she climbs down and is on a landing. She's got a box brownie. Oh, officer sure. It's about time I met the first officer of this ship. Kasia Belford. Nice to meet you, Kasia. I suppose there was some sort of rule against what I was doing up there. Deepest apologies, but sometimes there's a shot you just cannot pass over. This is very true. Sometimes you have to break the rules to get the photos. An accomplished photographer, Kasia Belford, won the Ventler Prize. I don't know if that's a real thing, I've never heard of it before. The highest honour in journalism for a work covering the plague outbreak and riots in the capital. Which capital? Which capital? It came as a surprise to many that such a reputable journalist would take such an interest in this expedition. There was scarcely any chance of Hunt or the benefactor turning her away. You expected someone of her accolades to be older, more experienced. This is likely her first time on the sea like this. Her accomplishments surely outweigh her youth. Her accolades speak for themselves. The cold game. Picture that as a header. Will that continue? For this piece on this voyage, I'm trying to come up with a snappy name. No one will read it if the title sounds like a work of an amateur. So you're going for some clickbait, are you? It sounds fine to me, I like it. She places a finger to her chin. That's a fist, not a finger. This is a finger. That's a fist. Bad writing again. Bad. Kasia places her fist to her chin, squinting her eye into it. She's not squinting either. Her eyes are wide open. Kasia places her fist on her chin, her eyes wide open in thought. It's not perfect, but it's a work in progress. Plenty of time. We haven't even hit the ice yet. It's just all so exciting already. Well, I suppose you've had all your fill of thrills up to now. At least this thrill is within the law. I'm not averse to thrills. Well, I hope we have some coming this way. I'm hoping to capture something right out of Kurt Darling's old escapades. That reminds me, he'll be joining us at the next port. I should get his picture at some point. Kasia holds up a camera with a sense of pride before holding it up to her face. That's not holding it up to your face, is it? That's holding it below your chin. And take the lens cap off. Stand still, sure. How long do they take to develop? Only a day or two. I have a makeshift dark room in the hole. Speaking of photographs, she hands you an annotated document. Here it is. The crew manifest. Whoa. Why do you have it? I don't understand why she has the crew manifest. We have Timmy Runtwald, Killian Smurth Sanders, Amelia Corvid Sparrow, Amelia, it's a bloke, Joseph Joe Gren, undiscovered, scouts, none, engineers, none, scientists, none. Specialists. We have Rufus Hunt. Casher Belford. Robin Shaw. That's us. We're a criminal muckwash. Richard Templeton deployed. He's a science officer and landlord. Oh, okay. So look, he's Captain Ice Savvy and a muttwash. So what were those ones then? Sailor Ice Savvy, Sailor Ice Savvy, Sailor Ice Savvy, Sailor Stowaway Saltborn. And resource cards and key items. We have an accordion. Oh, God, no. That's going overboard. Alright, good. I think. How do we get out of this then? It's a work in progress. The scout team are here to join us at the next port, and the captain's forbidden me from the boiler room. You can ask the others to get their portraits taken. We're very grateful. I don't want to leave anybody out. Yeah, we're not going to do that. That's a nasty thing to be saying. Thank you, Kasha. She smiles. That's not a smile, is it? It's not a smile. It's not a smile. That's a smile. I'll not disturb you of your work any further, officer. I have a few more shots I want to get before the sun lows, anyhow. Safe shots, officer. Don't worry. Candid photography. You leave it all work. Well, we've gotten a bit icy. What's the temperature? It's minus 10 degrees. The two Johns. Descend below deck. Should we go and have a look at the two Johns? You spot a large man with a young gait. Oh, a youthful gait, carrying a heavy crate over his shoulder with a relative ease. Oh, you're Officer Shaw. He gives a bright, warming smile. It is not smiling. And he's blind. The two Johns, that's what they call me. I'm sure you'll get your nickname later. Two Johns attempts to offer a handshake. Not touching your hand, I don't know where it's been. But loses control of the crate. He struggles before firmly holding it in place with both hands. Ah, maybe later. Work away. Good. So we've got two John now. The two John, the two John. Oh, so... Oh, look. So it wasn't a cannon, it was just a chimney. Why do we need a chimney if we've got sails? Do we have central heating aboard the ship? If so, why do we have ice on it? So many contradictions. All the way out. All the way in. Right, let's go below deck. The forecastle door appears to be locked. You can hear the canal master preparing the room inside. I want to go in there. Ascend above deck, descend to the mid deck. No, I think there's only two places we can go. We'll ascend to the mid deck then. Oh, look. Now we can. And there's bloody accordions. There's accordions. Alright, let's go and destroy the accordion. One of the crew, a red-headed man with a thick beard, sits proudly playing an ivory accordion. He spots you and ceases in his playing. Good. Good decision. Who are you? Nice accordion, do you mind if I see? The accordion player takes a step back as you approach. You can see from there, no touching. I was just looking for the Stoke Brothers. Emergency, just a meeting with Hunt. You're speaking to one of them. Grimly Stoke. We'll head up after dinner. You can go now. The man gestures a cut across the room before resuming his playing. Send to the top deck. Oh no, we don't do that. Call the crew for dinner. The crew have their meal. It passes in relative silence apart from that bloody accordion. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for this evening. Twilight falls. The dinner table. Over dinner you overhear the crew. Oh, the newly picked up stowaway speaking with a one-armed man. Why do we have a one-armed man on board? But you're lucky Hunt didn't throw you overboard. Half a mind to do it myself. Come on, I'm here to help. Better know that involves work. Don't expect special treatment. I won't. You're an impossible child, Timmy. Doug Ward has been added to the manifest. Well, that's everything in here. We haven't even got into any ice yet. Oh, who's that? That's Mr. Gloss. You spot one of Templeton's science team pacing around the middeck, searching through some luggage that's been pulled from a cabin. Let me look in the light. Where was it now? He notices you. Officer Shaw, correct? Dwight Glossley. Apologies, I seem to have misplaced something. While settling in the cabin, a bottle of wine, actually. Perhaps one of the sailors took it. Goodness, I would hope not. My wife and I bought a bottle to celebrate with, to be saved for the journey back, of course. Well, if you find it, please let me know. We'll enter my cabin. This is my cabin. We shall open our journal. There we go. Return. Well, that's all we can do in there. We can only leave. Well, I'm not sure what to make of this game. There's obviously a lot of story here, and I'm not seeing an awful lot of survival stuff at the moment. Maybe that's something that comes later on, perhaps. I'm not sure. But so far, I'm quite enjoying this. This is on Steam at the moment for about £20, I think it is. Seems to be worth that amount of money for the outlay. More story than survival. I guess it's a little bit like the Walking Dead series Telltale Games, kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit. an awful lot of reading to do, so if you don't like reading, you're probably not going to like this game. Well, I think I shall play some more of this. But here I shall leave it. And I shall be back again at the weekend. Probably with another unplayed game. I was going to play Soul Hackers 2 this evening, and then I saw this game and I thought, no, I shall make a purchase of this and give this a go instead. So I shall probably take a look at Soul Hackers 2 this weekend, but until then, I hope you have a pleasant rest of the week, and I shall see you later.